to reggae.com. Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 18 on reggae to reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience. On reggae to reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Things have got to change. Ooh, somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Ooh, yo, oh my. These words have been spoken by my master. They will come to pass. Huh. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change. Huh. Somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Ooh, yeah. Somehow I know things have got to change. Ooh, somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Ooh, somehow I know things have got to change. Ooh, somehow I know it's got to be rearranged.
Get ready.
Yes. It's okay. Let
2,
me.
3.
Just getting my notes together. Remember that we have to always refer to the book, the operations manual. But today, I am on. All right. Getting my notes together because I always have to write my notes out of the operations manual. Welcome to CelebrateLife.me on reggae to reggae.com. That's where you'll get everything that's wonderful and good about Jamaica every moment of every day. We are online 24/7 and we're moving slowly from just transmitting reggae music to transmitting everything that is Jamaican and good about Jamaica. Today we're doing our Lord's Day program, but yesterday we missed our Shabbat program, which was our Shalom Shabbat program, because we could not get on the platform. But guess what? Today I'm going to combine them both, so you have a double whammy. And we are going to be looking at Shalom Shabbat, and also we're going to be looking at the wonderful celebration of a worshipful Lord's Day. So, before any ado, I want to tell you why my set is so crowded today, right? You know that this is my permanent angel. It's a sculpture, piece of sculpture out of my collection of an angel reading a book. Now, what is an angel? An angel is a messenger from the Most High, and he or she can come in any form. Actually, original angels don't have any sex. I mean, they don't have sex, but they don't have any sex either, meaning they're not male or female. But we have a lot of earth angels because they operate in the capacity of an angel, which is a messenger from Satan. Oh, a messenger. We have messengers from Satan too, the fallen angels. That's another story about the sons of God and the daughters of men. No, those were sons of God, were the fallen angels. But we'll talk about that another time. Now, I'm talking today about this angel, which is an angel from the Most High. And he has, or she has, or the angel has, in his hands, everything that we need. Everything that we need for life and God. It is the Word of God. And remember, the Word of God comes in three forms. It comes as a written form. It comes as a spoken form when it has creative power. And it comes as a living form when we patch into that life of Jesus Christ, who was the living Word and who will give us everything we need for life and godliness. So we have an option of using one of the three or any of the three. They all work equally effectively. So today we're going to be doing Shabbat Shalom from the beginning of the show, and then we're moving into our Lord's Day service, worship service. That's my number one presence on the show. Of course, the word for Jamaica is what we are going to broadcast 24/7. You already heard some of it in music in my theme song. For the time being, it says things have got to change. It is the only way we are going to move forward and come into the place where we are actually living out God's intent for creating Jamaica. And if we don't know the intention of a thing, we are going to misuse it. And a lot of people don't know what Jamaica was intended for. We'll keep talking about that as we go ahead in our programs, because we are actually jam icons. Jam icons. And this place is actually Jew Mecca. Talk more about that. But we are a Mecca for all the Jews. Ethnic Jews, spiritual Jews, black Jews, white Jews, pink Jews. That is why our mother says out of many one people, you know that Jews were of all ethnicities. Right? You need to read the Solomon Papers and the Solomon whole episode of the return of the Ethiopian Jews to Israel. Oh my goodness, I bawled through the whole thing as we saw our ancestors come into the new land that was prepared for them, which was not really a new land. They did own it from a long time. More on that in another program. But that's my number one presence on the show all the time. You cannot move forward if you don't have the information from the book. It is the only guide that we need, and it is the only true guide that we have. My mascot number 2, and this is my lion. Dun, 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 dun. A friend of me called me and said if they didn't see the resemblance between me and the lion. I am not sure about that, but this is, to me, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He is a conquering lion, and ain't nothing can face me that this lion cannot carry me through and carry me through victoriously, based on my Jeremiah 29:11 promise that I have been made for a purpose, and that purpose must come to pass. And that purpose is not to harm me or to hurt me, but to give me a hope and a future that is full of success and prosperity. Who would want to have any other leader but one who is going to lead you into all of that? The Lion of the tribe of Judah. No, I have. So, he's always on the show, you know. Every now and then it's me, other master. Now you see the resemblance. And whenever she is on the show, it's because I am wearing one of the Celebrate Life designs. And today, I am wearing a black crochet dress. And it was my design, but crocheted by one of the wonderful artisans in this country. Her name is Jackie. But from time to time, I will be showcasing the best of Jamaica. Some shows ago, I spoke about my dear friend who does EYL, the best castor oil in the world. And you can write, you can email, you can order from all over the world the best castor oil in the world. Did you know that Jamaica makes the most and best natural products in the world? Bet you didn't know that? We have every herb. We have everything that will promote health naturally. And most of all, we have the best food, because that's what I do. My area is orthomolecular medicine and psychiatry, where I use food and nutrition, lots of nutrition that doesn't come from food, to heal every known disease, reverse every known disease. And my success rate is 100%. Okay, nobody has anything 100%. But I'm here to tell you, mine is a 100%. Why? Because I'm not using my formulas. I'm using the formulas I get out of the book. Because those formulas work every time. And we'll be showing you how to go and search them out for yourself and use them for yourself, so you don't have to pay me. More on that. Back to my number 3 master. She's only on the show when I am showcasing one of my designs. And so today I am wearing my black with white pearls, and she has on white with black pearls. And you'll notice if you get a close-up that she has on coordinate earrings. I have on white earrings, she has on her black earrings. And of course you notice the hairstyle. She also has my hairstyle, a top knot with the red hair and a little strand hair over the eye. I can't do that one. But there she is in her coordinate. And you will notice that her sleeves, I want to mention the sleeves. Every time I give a tip, I will also give you a fashion tip. You will notice that her sleeve comes down to the first joint in her thumb. That's where the sleeve of a shirt and the sleeve of a long sleeve garment is supposed to stop. At the joint of the thumb. So remember that that is where your long sleeve shirts are supposed to come, and that's where your long sleeves are supposed to come. More on that, because we are going to be showcasing at the end of this week on our Saturday show the start of our finishing school course for families, and we want you to call in and register. It's going to be going at a half price as a reintroduction of Lisa Lake Limited's finishing school. We'll be doing classes every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And we will be showing you how to get yourselves ready for the December festivities, when you'll be going to dinners and parties and celebrations, and how to celebrate without even thinking, what fork should I use? Or am I appropriately dressed? Or did I answer that question correctly? Right? No more going in and saying good night when you're not leaving. Good night is a parting, complimentary close. Good evening is what we say when we come on or we start in the evening. More about that on our family finishing school classes. So, my mascot is here, my Lion of the tribe of Judah, and my wonderful angel who brings me the word every day. And of course I have my abridged version of my operations manual, where I daily take things out of this one that are applicable to today's show or today's life for me, and I put them in my operations manual, my only good thing. Thank you, Telstar, for the free diary. And so we're going straight into now what we should have done yesterday on Shalom Shabbat. For those who are just joining us for our first Shalom Shabbat program, we had one last week. We want you to understand what it's all about. Shabbat is the Sabbath, or the seventh day when God rested. And so it doesn't matter what kind of religion you follow, you need to take the pattern from God, and you must rest on one day. And if He chose the seventh day to rest, I sort of think that that would be the best day for me to rest. And so I celebrate Shabbat every Saturday. And it's not just straight Saturday, it is from sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday. And how do I celebrate it? We speak to each other and we say, Shalom Shabbat. And you know what the meaning of Shalom is? It means that everything is in perfect, upright order as the Creator meant it to be. And if it isn't in perfect, upright order, then you have the Shalom Shabbat to bring it back in. Because another explanation of Shalom is that everything is in perfect, upright order, but nothing is missing and nothing is broken. So if you have something missing from your lives, you bring it back into balance on your Shabbat or Sabbath. If there's something broken in your life, then you can have the opportunity of coming away from the maddening crowd and getting that particular thing repaired on your Shabbat. So it is impossible to have a good week next week if you don't take your Shabbat to Shalom. And of course, in our English language, we call that peace. Remember, peace is not just the absence of war. I think peace is the absence of stress. When you are not stressed, then you can be at peace with yourself, your Creator, and the whole wide world. We will talk more as we go along about this concept of peace, because it is a pivotal thing that decides whether we are healthy or not in the spiritual realm, in the psychological realm, and in the physical realm. When our chemicals are warring against each other in the body, we cannot be at peace. During our program, we are going to be taking breaks every 15 minutes So I will be getting a chance to take a little break, check on my notes, and come back. So when you get to the break, do not go away, because we are coming back and we will be with you for a full hour. So, Shalom Shabbat. Yesterday I had a guest with me and she brought her shofar. You know what the shofar is? It's a ram's horn. And they have some that are like our big goat horn. You know the goats in Jamaica? What we call a billy goat, and it has just a little curl in the horn, and the horn is probably about this. We have those that start at that. But we have those with the long, and she brought a long one. The finger gone off the screen, but it's alright. A long one that was able to show us all the different variations of the ram's horn, and she's going to blow it. That will happen probably next Shabbat or another one. But what's the purpose of this ram's horn? It is to call us to attention, to get in line, and to worship. Now, whether it is to call us to war, or to call us to work, or to call us to celebrate, or to call us to do anything, it is an act of worship. One of the things I wanted to just mention in today's Shalom Shabbat is that in the original Hebrew language, there was no word for secular. When I was studying Hebrew and Greek, I was doing a course in Jewish studies and biblical hermeneutics, and there was no word for secular, because everything that happens to us happens in the spirit realm. Why do you know that? Because I am a spirit. I live in a body. No. I have a soul. And the soul is like the operations area. Everything happens there. All the emotions that I have of myself happens in that realm. And all the relationships I have with others happen in that realm. But remember, who I really am is a spirit. And I am a spirit. The spirit encompasses my total essence. My temperament, which is inborn, permanent, and unchangeable. Temperament, totally different from personality, which is self-selective. We know we can have a personality that we express at home. We have another one that we do at work. We have another one we do at school. We have another one we do at church. Oh, and of course we have another one when nobody looking and we're out in the raga. Well, that is the purpose of temperament. And eventually, if you want to be really, really whole and actualize and become who you are really made to be, then you have to bring all the different personalities back together and be the same person, whether you are at home, whether you are at school, whether you are at work, whether you are on the street, whether you just woke up or you're going to bed, whether you're tired or you just are full of energy, whether things go well or not well. This is one of the objectives of life, bringing all the different personalities to the place where you're comfortable being you, the you that God made you. If He made you passionate like me and not as proper as most people would like me to be, but then I can be proper when it is time to be proper. But we must be able to be all things to all men, so that we can persuade people that the way of the book is the best way to be. Because guess what? When you go that way, you have no stress, because you are just you. The other advantage of that is that when the stress comes, then you know who to carry to. You know where to look for the answers. And you can be sure that everything is covered in the book. And if you don't see it there in English, you know where you can find it. Go back to the original language and check out the Bible codes, because everything, past, present, and future, all of them are encrypted in the Bible codes in the original language. So, why do you need to be anxious for anything when Yeshua HaMashiach is always there for you? And you can celebrate your Shalom Shabbat every day of the week. Do you know that that is one of the things that we are encouraged to do? Have Shabbat every day of the week, where we can now move from the day of rest into a permanent rest. And the permanent rest is not necessarily in the future, you know. It's when you decide you are going to embrace it. Said again, whenever you want your permanent rest to be a part of your life 24/7, then it means that you have to embrace it 24/7. More on that. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
No one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com. On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience. On reggae2reggae.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we're back, and we're just finishing off our section on our Shalom Shabbat. Today, well, it was yesterday actually, we were celebrating. We had so many things to talk about on the show, because the day before I celebrated the end of Tabernacles. I mean, this has been an exciting month in the Jewish calendar, because first we had Feast of Trumpets, then we had Yom Kippur, and then we had Tabernacles. And the last day of Tabernacles is called Simchat Torah. It was on Friday gone, and we had celebrations all over the world. I know we had a lot in Israel, and all Jews all over the world celebrated Simchat Torah. Simchat Torah. And what does that mean? It means the dance of the Torah. It means a celebration that is around all the promises that are in the Torah. And as we know, the Torah is the first 5 books as penned by Moses, but not penned by, as in actually written, but he was supposed to be the author. But who was the original author? Anyway, Simchat Torah. Now, for Simchat Torah, we usually just have celebrations and dancing all over the world. And I was going to a Simchat Torah celebration at one of my friend's house. My dear, I missed the road, and I was driving all over Mona to try and find this place. And after a while I said, you know something? Let me go back home, because I was yawning. I wanted to fall asleep. I said, I shall go back home, go online, link up with Glorious Zion International, and I just it was almost 3 hours of Simchat Torah. It was wonderful. We had our flags, our dance all over. You want to see me all over the room, all over the place. I buck up into the pieces of furniture. I butt up into the pieces of furniture that were all over my house. but I had a wonderful time. And so remember, you don't have to be with a body to celebrate. You know how many celebrations I do in my room? Oh my goodness, jumping on the bed, jumping down from the bed, over the stool, etc. But I have a wonderful time. And so, even if you didn't celebrate Simchat Torah with us, it is the dance of the Torah. And what is the main blessing that we have to celebrate out of the Torah? It is this: the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and grant you his peace, his shalom. Grant you the bringing into being of everything coming into perfect upright order. Nothing missing and nothing broken. Isn't that a wonderful way to start your new week? I just love Shabbats because every Shabbat is a celebration. Every Shabbat is a celebration of worship to the one who is your foundation, your provider, your protector. I am excited. It's the most exciting day of my week. It is the most enjoyable. I just can't compare it to anything. In another few minutes, we'll be looking at the second one where I am concerned. And remember, on this show, it's not a theological show. It is a show about celebrating life with me, moi. And I'm just sharing my journey. And if there's any little thing out of it that you can pick up and use to advantage, go ahead. I ain't pushing nothing down your throat. I am just telling you what works for me. And this morning I was, discussing with my sis about, her beautiful hairstyle. She had her hair puffed up and it looked so nice. And I said, we are such individuals. Anyhow I comb my hair like her, I would look like I don't know. Let's forget what I would look like. Because I prefer to say, comb my hair the way it fits me and the way I like it. And then I am comfortable. But everybody's an individual. And anytime you see something nice on somebody else and you like it, never take it up hook, line and sinker. Go take it and adjust it to your individuality, because every single individual that was created is an individual masterpiece. Every single one of us. Not just in Jamaica. That's why we can't agree on nothing, because we're so different. But everywhere in the world. Because God made us for a particular purpose that nobody else could fulfill. Consequently, if we were alike totally, how would we fulfill that purpose? So we have to remember, be yourself. Never take anything hook, line and sinker from anybody else. And I learned the hard way. Anytime I went out and I saw somebody's makeup that I liked, I would run home and put it on. It wouldn't fit me at all. And then if I saw a hairstyle that I liked, I would go home and I would just fit it. And it just never fit me at all. The worst part was I used to sew, because I studied fashion design, and I would go out and I see somebody in a dress and an outfit that I like, I would come home and I would just do it up same way. And when I put it on, it favor hang upon me, upon me. Because guess what? It was not adjusted to me. So I am here to tell you, I don't care who give you advice, whether it's the doctor or the lawyer or the financial consultant or your husband, your wife, your mother, your daughter, your pastor, or anybody else. You must take it and take it to the Spirit of God and say to that Spirit of God, God, you made me. What adjustments would you like me to make to this so that it patches in to your plan for my life, to your perfect purpose for my life? And that is how we have to take advice. The Word of God says, be like the Bereans. Whenever the apostles said something to them, they would go home and they would search the scriptures and they would say, huh, is it in here first of all? Are they interpreting it the way it is in here? And furthermore, how is it applicable to me, myself, and I? And the only place you can get that application from is from the Creator, because He knows all those little idiosyncrasies that He placed into you that made you you and nobody else. And so you need to come to the place where you are totally comfortable in your own skin, whatever color it is. So you don't have to bleach. Talking about bleach or dye. If you listen to the show long enough, you will see me when I have gotten past my last 2 problems in life: hair color and makeup. I'm working on it because I am going to go back to my salt and pepper, because that's the way the Creator made me. But sometimes we think we want to improve on what He did. I am here to tell you, the other day I was looking at some of my pictures, and nothing better on me than the salt and pepper. So I have to wait until this grow out, and that grow out, and then cut off what is applicable until I get back to my real thing. So I'm here to tell you now, you see, whatever the Creator made for you, you got to come to terms with He knew best. And sometimes it takes some of us a long time. I've been moving with the rest of the personality and the other things, coming into what He made me for and to. So watch me on my journey as I get rid of the last 2, and then I will really be a proper example for you. In the meantime, the ones that I don't know right, nobody follow them, please, right? But come along, we're all on a journey, and we have one objective, to line up our personalities and our lives with the purposes and plan of the Creator. And don't beat up on yourself if you are at a different level in different areas along the journey. Everybody has challenges, but when those challenges come, your Creator is faithful. He will not allow you to be challenged more than you are able. But He will, with the challenge, give you the ability to deal with it, to grow through it, to profit by it, and to get around it, or over it, through it, but to really deal with it so that it is a part of your growth experience. So you see, when anytime trouble take me, apart from the fact that picnic clothes fit me, that means that when trouble take you, when you get into challenges, any solution will work. But when you have a problem or a challenge, know that you have a backative. You have your Creator just sitting there to say, all right, now that you have come to the place where this challenge you cannot manage by yourself, here am I. Here I am, waiting, wanting, willing to help you. Can you imagine having that capability behind me and not using it? I am here to tell you, I do some stupid things in my life, but I am learning, I am growing. And you see me now, when troubles start to take me, or when challenges start to heat up around me, I just know where to go. I hightail it into my little closet and drop down on my knees and I say, Father God, help me. And He always leads me to an immediate answer, or sends me where to search in the operations manual, which is the only place to find the solutions. And when you have found the solutions, then you have to put them into being, because solutions in a book will never help you. You know how many people know everything in the book, but put them on the job and them can't do a thing. So remember that you have to consult your operations manual, but after that you have to speak it into being. You have to employ the creative force of words, and when you speak it over and over and over again, you know, it's like each word add on a little part, and another word add on a little part, and molecules are built up, built up, built up, built up, built up, and all of a sudden, voila, there is a finished product. And you did not know why it was building, how it got there, but it has been built by your words. Remember, words are seeds that are planted. And when you plant that seed, what happens is that it is underground. You don't see, you think it is dead. But when you plant seeds, especially seeds into young soil, like your children, then it means that it is going to grow into a little tree, a little shrub, then a little, from seedling to a shrub, then to a tree, and then to a huge tree. And at that point, you can do nothing about it. So make sure we plant the right seeds. Going for another break, and we'll be back in 2 shakes of a duck's tail. Ciao.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created Reggae2Reggae.com. We encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience. On Reggae2Reggae.com, we encourage.
Okay, so I was going to wrap up at the end of the whole Shabbat thing. Remember that this year it's Cheshvan. That this month is the month. Cheshvan has trouble with pronouncing the Jewish Hebrew words, right? Because I can read them on a piece of paper, but you know I don't have enough practice speaking the Hebrew. Anyway, what does that month mean? It is the only month when there isn't a celebration, and it is also the month when the flood ended. And so we have all the promises of the flood, right? You know what the flood was? The flood, you know, when Noah built an ark, and that was a type of the fact that any situation that faces us as a challenge, right? That we are buoyed up over it if we are in the ark. If we are in the place that God has provided for our protection, then it doesn't matter what comes. And as we move into the end of time, as we look at what we call the end times, we need to understand that there's a formula for keeping where you need to be, keeping safe and not wet by the floods that are definitely coming down on us. The economic floods, the political floods, the spiritual floods, the unleashing of the man of sin and all this stuff. But whether you are pre-trib, post-trib, or mid-trib, you need to understand. And that means pre-tribulation, if that is your philosophy, or mid-tribulation for the rapture, or post-trib, or no rapture at all, because some people believe that we may not have a rapture. Anyway, this is not a theological program, but regardless of where you are, you need to know how you can not just stay afloat, but prosper in the middle of all this so-called stuff that is going to happen. And it's happening already in the world. You see now that the previous world powers are now being overtaken by China. More of that in our night talk, because we need to know why China is in Jamaica, and we need to also know how China has a stranglehold over not just Jamaica, or trying to get one over to Jamaica, but it has over the great world powers. More of that in our night talk program. But let's go back to the end of Shabbat. How do you get over it? The way you get through the issues that are going to come is to send Judah first, man. Send Judah first. That is why I had such a wonderful time on Friday, because Judah are the praisers. And when we praise, we are sure of victory. Send Judah first. Anytime you face a challenge, send Judah first. Shabbat Shalom for yesterday. Today is our Lord's Day, the first day of the week, when most Christians celebrate and worship. And today I was in my worship service, and I had a wonderful reminder from the speaker today. And since I didn't get permission to mention his name, I won't mention it. But here are all those who worship on Sundays, and I want to share with you what we celebrate on as Sunday worshipers. We have a celebration of peace, love, and joy. And one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to bring back the celebration into the Sunday worship service. For those who do not have that aspect, where, a lot of children, when they are going to church on Sunday, it is the solemn day. It is the day they can't do this and can't do that and can't do that. I was speaking to the daughter of another friend, and she was asked, they are Saturday worshippers, and how has your life changed since you have been celebrating Shalom Shabbat? And the answer almost knocked her mother over, because she wasn't prepared for that. But guess what? We need to understand that both Saturday and Sunday worship services or experiences are supposed to be wonderful experiences. We talk about peace, but we tend to think that peace is a quiet thing. It is an absence of noise. Because I say, give me some peace. If you chatting and just making it open, I say, Lord, I want a little peace. Can't have any peace in my own house. Back off. Peace is a byproduct of some other issues. It is a byproduct of health, which is a gift, wealth and prosperity, love and joy. You cannot have peace unless you have been able to deal with the other 4 inputs into peace. 1, if you're not healthy physically, mentally, and psychologically, psychologically and mentally are almost the same. Physically, spiritually, and psychologically. If you're not healthy in those 3 areas, you will not have peace. You cannot have peace of mind if you're worrying, if you're going to carry yourself into manic depressive conditions or schizophrenia. So peace requires physical, psychological, and spiritual health. Peace also requires that you don't have to worry about money or prosperity or having enough. And what has our Creator promised us? That we will have more than enough. He has and owns everything. And so if we are not at peace, it means that we are not patching into what He has given us. We're not embracing that particular promise. So we need to understand that in order to have peace, you've got to know who your provider is and know how to access. We have not, because we ask for it. simple. You need to ask, seek, and knock to get that prosperity. And if you don't know what the books say about getting prosperity, how are you going to go out there and name it and claim it? It is not going to happen. You need to follow the instructions of the book. Thirdly, love. You can't have peace if you have not found out how to have loving relationships with yourself first, with your family next, with your environment, with your purpose. If you're not doing what God called you to do, you will have no peace. With your spiritual family, which is your church, with your community, with your nation, and with your world. So you have to develop those loving relationships, or else you can't have peace. Right? The fourth one is joy. And you can't have peace if you don't have joy. How you will have joy when all this, turmoil is going on around? You remember that the joy of the Lord is your strength. And there is no way you can have joy in your own strength, because it's impossible for a human being to develop in them joy with all the things that are happening in this world. How can I be joyful when our children are being abused? How can I be joyful when I see all the criminal behavior that is going on in this country? I cannot. When I recognize that I can be a part of the agent of change, when I embrace the joy of the Lord, the fact that I can see my part in changing what is out there by changing the mindsets of our people, the spiritual outlook of the spirits that we have to deal with, because our interaction with others happens on the spiritual realm. And how do we get there? By the loving relationships that we discussed just before we spoke about joy. You cannot have joy unless you have embraced the ability of God to give unconditional love to those around you. You cannot decide you're going to love the criminal less than you love your sister. No, that is a concept that no human being can do. The only way you are successful in doing this is when you totally embrace God's love for you. Because when you embrace God's love for you and you realize that God loves you when you're bad or when you're good, when you tell liar or thief things, it matters not. He loves you unconditionally and also eternally. And the love that He has for you, He has for every other person that He created. So that includes those who are doing the big sins, as we call them. What's the difference? Everybody's on a journey, and we need to help each other along that journey in every way. So the only way you can express love to those around you who rub you the wrong way, who you do not like, is by embracing God's unconditional love for you. And so I can just look right out there and say, I love you, because I know who I am on the inside. I know all the horrible things about me, and God loves me unconditionally. So I don't care what I have done, even yesterday, or I'm going to do tomorrow. I have an advocate. I have a way back. It is in 1 John 1:9. It says, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Immediately. We don't have to do any penance. We don't have to go through purgatory. Immediately. And that is one of the hardest things for human beings to do. So as we end the program today, let me invite you. It doesn't matter what you have done. Come to the place where you recognize God's love for you is unconditional. God's love for me is unconditional. That is why I can celebrate life 24/7. Because I know as soon as I realize that I've done something, thought something, had a bad attitude or a bad motive or said something wrong, I said, oh God, forgive me, please. I will not do this again. Doesn't mean I'll not do it again, but that is my intention. And He, guess what He judges? The intents of the heart, not the actions, because He knows our frailty. And so we have to have that genuine desire to really do what is right. And He will empower us to do it less and less and less until one day we realize, that is not one of our major problems again. Then we work on another one. So remember, immediate restoration when you ask the forgiveness of God for anything. And then all you have to do after that is just line up with what He tells you to do. Because He might tell you to go and make reparation. He might tell you to write a letter. He might tell you to lock up in the bathroom and talk about it and then forget it. He might tell you to tear it and flush it up. Flush it, whatever. But you have to now come into obedience so that you can embrace and enjoy and celebrate life 24/7. That's how you get peace. So you see, peace is not just the stopping of noise or the absence of war or no stress. It is your intent and your active intent in walking in perfect health, perfect will, perfect love, and perfect joy. That's how you get peace. That is how you come to the place. And it's a gift. It is given to you on a momentary, daily basis when you attempt to walk in the way that God intends for you. Shalom. I wish you shalom, that everything will be in perfect, upright order. Nothing missing, nothing broken. And remember, if something is missing, there's a place to find it in the operations manual. If something is broken, there is someone to fix it. The person who made it, the manufacturer. And that's why I call this my operations handbook, because everything that goes wrong is in there. Every way to fix it is in there. So if you have some challenges, questions, and you're not able to navigate around the operations manual as yet, you don't read so well, then just send us an email. And we will be very happy to research it and to give you the answer right here on CelebrateLife.me. Coming to you online from reggae to reggae.com. So remember, log on 24/7 to reggae.com, because that is where you will have everything that is wonderful about Jamaica showcased for you 24/7. Drop us an email, communicate with us, let us know how it's going on your end, and celebrate life with me. Ciao.
as if he's saying something to me. Sitting on the limb of a tree, giving me a sound of sweet melody. I guess he's trying to tell me something, something that I should know about this new wind, a new wind that's gonna blow. It's the raining of the heathen coming down on my people, taking the goodness of life and rendering them evil. You see, the little that they gave you was just to deceive you. Don't tell me that you were blind. Don't let the devil fool you. Oh, oh, yeah. Somehow I know things have got to change. Ooh, wee, oh, oh, oh. Somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Ooh, oh, oh, yeah. Somehow I know things have got to change. Ooh, somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Ooh, yeah, oh, oh. Oh, my.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until